Welcome to another overtime every time Dragon vs. Strum. It is December 11th and it's Wednesday and I'm from my old neighborhood. Had to go some bureaucratic business because it's Canada post-strike, so had to go a little bit of retrieve some documents, have to go online, I'll do some other spiel, but grateful, thankful, rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, so here I am, Rainbow Dragon, rock and roll for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production, distribution of food. All those in the fast food industry, truckers of North America. Let's get that North American Collective Workers Party. Dancing is this Aspie artist, athlete, philosopher, mystics' favorite sport and fitness activity, and geopolitics with that. So the first important thing is to begin with gratitude here. Nothing that I want to go back to, just passing through my own neighborhood. Nothing that I want to go back to, and just moving forward and grateful, thankful. I just had to go some business in a bureaucratic office, government of Quebec, government of Canada, government of Quebec, federal, provincial, and now going back south. I came here, was in the back of me is north, that was west, and that's east. On a rainy day, slushy day, warmer than yesterday. Grateful, thankful, rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and gonna switch it later on to that French because we in La Belle Province, and just gonna go hold it up to the mouth a little bit on that something, because I don't want to get my work tool, wet, ambulance drivers, LOV, it's not all about the money. 42, the other day I saw number 44. 42 have not transgressed the 42 transgressions. I have not transgressed the 42 transgressions. I have not transgressed the 42 transgressions. Justice requires sometimes some patience. Aspie artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. Gonna go drive it for the XYZ, and somebody wearing some red. Saw a lot of red color today. Gotta get it for the X, gotta get it for the Y. For the white and black and rainbow freestyle. Rock and roll, let's go a little bit of rock and roll. Hey, for those truckers on the road, you know that we gotta get it. For the truckers and the bakers and the butchers and the nurses on the march here from my old neighborhood, and need to paint that a little bit of red, blue, white. Here from my old neighborhood, Citoyen, Citoyen, and Citoyen and NDGs, one Montreal is one island. Down in the Montreal metropolis where I reside, live. In many past lives, many incarnations, born right here on the island now. Many past lives, many incarnations, was born in the USA 3 times, thrice. Once as a woman, twice as a man, post 70-76. 2 times when I was born a man, I served in the same US Army. Twice. 2 different wars, same army, 156 years apart. Let's get that North American complex united. Dragon vs. Trump still challenging after 6 years. Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US borders, have been challenging since, so I've been on that. Aluminum and steel tariffs. Aluminum and steel tariffs imposed by Trump administration 2018. 10%, and now the threats and the proposition to impose 25% tariffs is going to be, of course, an impactful decision to make if those goes through on the 20th of January. Until then, my Joe Biden is still officially president. Scorpio brothers of the star Scorpio, and he takes Sagittarius as Leo, Pisces, all the astrological sign, North Americans together. Let's get that North American Democratic Republic and the North American Collective Workers Party, Please, NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, MLB. Please give some charity. Millionaires, billionaires, give some charity. And Wall Street bells closed about maybe 44 minutes ago plus, maybe more than 44 minutes ago, estimated time, and give some charity. I'm not totally selfless. Do not pretend to be totally selfless without faults. And hey, we got to give that 44.9%, please. NFL National Football League, NHL National Hockey League, NBA National Basketball Association, MLB. Please reduce the cost of the tickets by 44.9%. 44.9% in my estimated cost need to be reduced. ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. That is my call. This independent artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical theoretical analyst, and theorist is gonna go rock and roll all the way from my own neighborhood. We're gonna try to go get it on the, see who came, who goes on the rainy day like this. Who's gonna go all the way to get a little bit of those exercising with it. Go left, right, and center. Go circumvent roundabout to the left and to the right to see all, of course, who are going to the public gymnasium on a rainy day like this. Got my hoodie on, I'm good to go, and gotta get it for those butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks. Always North Americans unite. I gotta think about the welders, public workers who pick up the garbage every week. 3 services, public workers, the garbage every week. The garbage collectors, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and I gotta turn my head left and right when I cross the street. Because you never know, the brakes might malfunction. The brakes might malfunction. We gotta get it for the XYZ. That's what we gotta go get it with that, you know. So the brakes malfunction. And of course the electricity comes from Hydro-Quebec, so I gotta give a shout out. Hydro-Quebec workers, past 20th century, present, and for the future to build more dams across the North American complex. The collective North American civilizational complex of which we are, a collective complex. And I gotta gonna go straight here, watch the car, because sometimes the brakes malfunction. The electricity or the brakes could be glitches, and the citizen drivers might press the accelerator instead of the brakes. So always turn your head left and right, turn your head left and right. That is my recommendation, you know, for a little bit of that safety. So now we're just gonna drive it south. We're gonna go southeast. I'm gonna go zigzag it, I guess, like a snake on these boots, running shoes, auctioning everything that I'm having on me. $1 million, gonna give half. That 50% to my anonymous sister friend, gonna give that half. 50% to my anonymous sister friend, half. 50% to my anonymous friend, and gonna propose again, marriage on the 24th of December. I'm gonna propose again, special marriage, because I am androgynous pansexual. You get that 50-50. So plus being Aspie, living with HFA, high functioning autism, you know, Asperger's, and yours truly for that XYZ, and we gotta get it for the doers and the thinkers, and the salutations. And I will propose again on the 24th, 25th, and I'll keep on proposing until I get a yes, because I guess that's the only yes I needed. All the yes I needed from all the no's in the past, and the scars and the rejection and the trauma, and my journey of healing in the past years. Survived COVID 2020, February, March, survived COVID. February, March, survive COVID, 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 and of course I got hit by COVID on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta get doing on the XYZ with that, and that's what it is for the doers and the doers and the thinkers, and all those, of course, who got it to do what they do, and all those, of course, who are involved in the distribution and the food, you know, distributing food now across the collective North American civilizational complex, of course, distributing food, you know, across the North American complex, and getting to go on the do, and getting to do on the dough, and getting to do on the now, you know. So that's what we gotta get on the do is, you know, and always gotta be meditating the privilege of civilization, you know, having electricity down there. Hydro-Quebec workers of the 20th century, and the public workers, the farmers, the butchers, the nurses, the doctors, and the grocery store clerks, and all involved in the production, distribution of food, you know. We gotta get that DRT, we gotta get that DRT, debt profusion theory, you know, for the creation of the universal exchange, and you gotta get a little bit of those lights. Those lights, you know, we gotta get along those lights, and see all these lights utilize clean zero pollution energy, and wow, it's three on one side, beautiful. Way to go. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thanks to Hydro-Quebec. That's electricity that they're using, clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy that they're using, and that's why they gotta get going on that energy to utilize it with clean, zero pollution, zero emission energy that is now utilized, and that is now, of course, on the go, So, Hydro-Quebec workers, 20th century, always rock and roll for them, for the truckers. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks. All those flipping some burgers, cheeseburgers, hamburgers, fries, some salads, cooking up something good, an omelet, whatever the case may be. Food security starts with the farmers, food producers. We got to reduce those costs, create the UE and fundamental geopolitics, because geopolitical analyst and theorist. I am an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and I have Asperger's, so with HFA that is my obsessive interest, and even now when I'm on the marches I always include my geopolitical meditations and theories and writings of the past more than 7 years. Of course, all the work as I'm doing now on the independent, and all the work that I'm doing now on the go, and all the work that I'm doing now on the go, and that I go on the go now, all the work that I'm doing on the go now, that's what I gotta do, and that's what I gotta be meditating about, that's what I gotta do meditating about, and that's what I gotta do on the go with that, and on the go with the truckers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and the grocery store clerks, and all those, Now on the roads, firefighters, and all, of course, those who are involved in the production, distribution of food once again, and production of electricity. That's what we gotta be meditating about, all the workers, all the butchers, the naked, the bakers, welders, the welders. Gotta say salutations to the welders, public workers, changing the aqueducts, doing all the reparations, all the changing of the aqueducts, the train conductors, singing in some LOV for the train conductors, and construction workers. I will, of course, to build the forgotten goddess temple, GODDSS, on the Canadian-US border, the forgotten goddess. I did say goddess. The goddess temple, the forgotten goddess temple, the forgotten goddess temple, GODDSS temple, the forgotten goddess temple, parallel to the North American people's Imperial Coliseum, the North American people's Imperial Coliseum, the North American people's Imperial Coliseum, the North American people's Imperial Coliseum. Something which we gotta do, I gotta say that I will to build it, and my accreditation is trillions of kisses, and feet washing, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. And that's what we keep gotta doing sometimes. My fitness journey always begins now. I always say my fitness journey always begins today now, December 11th, Wednesday, although I've been on a fitness journey for 7 years, and I created my workout training program system, and I encourage you all to work out, train, exercise. It is my medicine and therapy of choice, and 7 years ago, before that, 8 years ago, 9, and that's, my memory gets blackouts, retrograde amnesia after moving, and just remember moving from a moldy place and being attacked by surprise, had a dislocated shoulder, and went to the hospital, got replaced on it, got it put back together, and had a Cillian pirate episode, because they tried to take me out, I guess. So here I am on the go, and on the do, and that's what we gotta get doing on the do, and that's what we gotta get doing on the now. So, hey, those butchers, bakers, and those who pick up the recycling, the compost, we gotta get it for them, and that's what we gotta get it doing for that. So, that's what we gotta get for that. That's what we gotta get doing for the do, and we gotta get, of course, on the prospects, that we're now utilizing the prospects and remnants of surviving COVID, I guess, you know, having surviving COVID, and that's what it is with that, and that's what they gotta get doing on the do, you know, so that's what they gotta get doing on the do with that, so they were always gonna get it for the LOV, and it's not all about the money, it's not all about the money, you know. I know we know that, many of us know that, and now the only solution is of course the DRT, you know, for the creation of the you, you know, for the creation of the you, you know, the creation of the universal exchange, the creation of the universal exchange in it is the only solution, you know, that we got, of course, on the circumcision, and we got to get it on the vision. It's to see my vision, which is basically fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. My vision, when I say support the dream, the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. The dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, when I say support, pledge your allegiance to our family, is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. That's what it is. And the implementation of my holy trinity of theories, CIT, citizen integration theory, DRT, debt refusion theory, the democratic fusion theory, that trinity of theories, to be implemented consequentially via the fourth dimension, which has to be love. Love is an action with consent. Hug like you never hugged before. That's the rock and roll song 24/7 since I survived COVID back in February 2020, February, March 2020, in February, March. That's when I survived COVID, and it was like death, pestilence, and disease. I really felt had that it. I said that was it for me, and I survived it, and that's since my survival of that COVID, you know. I always taken on the survival of the COVID, you know, so that's what it is with that, and that's what it is for the COVID, you know, so we gotta get it on the march, and we gotta get it on the go, and we gotta get it on the do, you know, so that's what it is with that, and that's what it is for the do, that's what it is for the XYZ, you know, so it's something which we gotta circumvent, and we gotta, of course, be meditating on it, and we gotta be on the doing, you know. And that's what we gotta do in it. Sometimes it takes doing, and sometimes it gets thinking, and sometimes it gets thinking and doing, and that's what we gotta get doing, you know. So doing is part of integral of meditations and thinking. Meditative thinkings on philosophies, they have to be parallel, equal, coaction. And action has been required in my own healing, you know. Blood, sweat, and tears, lost between 80 pounds and 93 pounds, between 80 pounds and 93 pounds, between 80 pounds and 93 pounds. When I started my fitness journey, right when I come out from being depressed and suicidal, you know, gonna wait to cross the street here. So let me see if there's a button there. There's no button there. No, see. There's no button there, and we gotta get it on the go, and we gotta get it for the doers, the butchers, the bakers, and the nurses, and those, of course, who got it for the truckers now. Seeing on the trucker always, see how my ASPE due to HFA, high functioning autism, having Asperger's, loving me some of that red Canada, zero emission, 100% electric. 100% electric, love it, double love, triple love, since it's electric truck, wow. I wanted to know more information about it. I saw the Canadian flag, so probably Canadian made, operated, XYZ, you know, we gotta get that North American Union, the Democratic Republic, and, you know, I would have voted Kamala. The only thing I can say about the comments to Donald Trump, because I'm challenging him to a boxing match, is, of course, that is a Dragon versus Trump 24/7 boxing match on the Canadian-US border. Have been in them, continue to challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match ever since 2018, since the imposition of tariffs, and, you know, I say that he's dimension, I said the great state of Canada, but we got to get that North American Union as co-equals, as equal here. North Americans unite. The implementation of my debt refusion theory is the solution, and to rebuild the infrastructure, mass finance, wellness, to fitness activity, and integrate Dragonomic citizen integration theory, security forces, east, west, north, south, North Americans unite, and all who come to join us in this North American complex, in the North American civilization complex, who come to join us, and I would have loved to have 44 billion. If I would have had 44 billion, I would have given, of course, 10%, and 10% is 4.4 billion, and we gotta get it for 4.4. That would have been 10% of 44 billion. I would have went, of course, to donate right after Donald Trump got elected officially. Right after Donald Trump got elected officially, right after Donald Trump got elected officially. Official election results, since November 6th, 2024, and I would have started on the journey, went down dirty hoodie, dirty up, second hand clothes, to look a bit incognito, and I would have given 50,000 to cross North Americans, homeless people, vets, men, women, black, brown, all North Americans. Would have been with 10% of 44 billion, would have been 4.4 billion, which would be the equivalent of 4,400 million. Would have been the equivalent of 4,400 million. Would have been the equivalent of 4,400 million. Would have been the equivalent of 4,400 million. That's would have been the equivalent of 4,400 billion. That's 10% of 44 billion. Would have been 10%. Would have been 4.4 billion. That's what would be the amount. That's what would have been the amount for that conclusion. To conclude it, I would have went and distributed 50,000. I would have whispered. I said, "This is your second chance. This is my redemption." To the person, you can take this money, rent a hotel, motel room, or pay a rent for a year, 2 years, even 3 years, and stop whatever addiction you have, moderate it, lower it down, start working out, training, exercising, look for a job, get a gym membership, and hit that gym, hit that workout. 50,000. This would have been their second chance, my redemption. I had my second chances several times. I gotta say, when I got hit by COVID 2020 February, I really thought that was it. I said, that's it for me. 2020 February, it was like death, pestilence, and disease, and I got hit by COVID hard. Right there in my underground room off St. Temple, because I remember moving from a moldy place underground, still moved underground, and I wouldn't mind having a better place, but I'm grateful, thankful for having that right now. And with HFA, high functioning autism, Asperger's, I have a routine and rituals, and it's my holy trinity of obsessive interest, because people with HFA, high functioning autism, Asperger's, we have obsessive interests, and those obsessive interests for yours truly is geopolitics 24/7. Geopolitics, the study, and I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, an artist, an athlete, independent, philosopher, and mystic, my own non-sectarian telemite with open questions about spirituality. I do throw that GODDSS in the air when I dance. God is GODDSS, and I will to build, blah, blah, blah. The forgotten goddess temple, and construction workers I put on the table more than blah, blah, blah. Trillions of kisses, trillions of hugs, trillions of tickles, trillions of feet washing, cooking, whatever the case may be, because construction I can do some muscle, but of course more the technical capabilities, XYZ, that's perhaps something that I will be less able as in some things myself. I am mediocre, I am average, I am so. That's where we got to get the individual and the collective. The bus drivers, construction workers on steel toes, utilizing those cranes, those know-hows, IT workers. From the farmer to Bill Gates, from the farmer to the cook to the chefs, rock and roll, nurses. Hey, I gotta sing that rock and roll. For those in the daycares who change some of those diapers, I always say with a new blah 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 protocol would be to implement blah blah blah. With the implementation of a new protocol, Dragon Army, North American security and service and defense only North American complex, security service and defense integrated. So there's an integrated force, my call for a public-private partnership, blah, 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 thereof, for the Dragon Army. So to be an integrated across the North American complex is a public-private partnership, and of course I would say a new protocol would be to the Canadian Armed Forces with LOV, security forces, public forces. You know, you gotta go change some diapers in the daycares before putting on a uniform, because that's what we're fighting for, eh? First and foremost, the children, the youth, and the children in the daycare. So that will be a new a new protocol. So with generals, if you haven't done it, generals, that will be a new protocol, a new protocol to implement. You know, there'll be some new protocol which would be to be implemented thereof. A new protocol to be implemented thereof would be to change the diapers in the daycares. You know, because that's what we're fighting for. That's what we're fighting for. That's what we are fighting for, right? That's what we are fighting for, you know. So we're fighting, of course, for the children in the daycares and all the youth, the elders, senior citizens. You know, it's not about mercs. I don't want nothing to do with mercenaries. And I want nothing to do with mercenaries. I want nothing to do with mercs. Nothing to do with mercenaries. So that's why I stand with that North American collective coast to coast defense. We're gonna play that defense only like that hardball ball. We're gonna play that defense only like that hardball ball. We're gonna play that defense like that hardball ball. You know, we're gonna play that defense like that hardball ball. You know, we're gonna play that D, play that D, play that D, play that D, play that D like that hardball ball. Play that D like that hardball ball, hardball ball, hardball ball. Hardball ball, aka blackout ball. With my 49ers lost, please reduce the costs of the tickets. NFL, National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB, 44.9%. That's what the cost of the tickets need to be reduced by. That's my proposition. The reduction of the ticket costs by 44% is a must. It's a must. It's a must. It's a must. The need for the reduction of the cost of the tickets, and please give some charity. You know, I would have loved to do that act of charity. Would have really loved. I would have went down in Canito. You know, in Canito, hoodie up, down dirty, hoodie up, and I would have given 50,000 men, women, trans, whatever, LGBTQ in a precarious situation. I said, this is your second chance. This is 50,000 you're seeing, or this is 50,000 cash, or whatever the case may be. And I would have went, maybe I would have taken to the bank to cash the check or whatever, or handed over 50,000, because cash, I guess it is. But I would have been, of course, to be safe, so they wouldn't be like the rob part, to be robbed or whatever. So this is your second chance. It's a second chance, baby. Second chance, baby. That's what I would have done. And millionaires, you still have time. Please reduce the cost of the candies, the goods, you know, holiday goods. It's December holiday, spirit of giving. If I would have billions, I would have given. And I'm not totally selfless, not totally altruistic. I do not pretend either to be. I have faults. I know I struggled, suffered, and I love my sweets. Sweets. As a matter of fact, I spend $1.56 to get myself 3 chocolate bars, affordable ones, small ones, 72 grams and 44 grams, and the other one I think it's 65. So 3 different chocolate bars at $1.56. I was $1.56. I was missing a penny, but there are no more pennies now. So the pennies have been discontinued. So that wasn't the problem, because of course the absorbing of the cost is absorbed by, of course, the absorption of the cost is absorbed. So there's absorption of the cost by the cost is absorbed by the government now, and that's what we got to get doing with that. And you know, we got to be mindful of that there's no more pennies. So the pennies are out, the pennies are discontinued, so there's no more pennies. So it's always something which I got to be mindful of about that.